I'm joined today with Mr. Bas Kooijman, the CEO and asset manager of DHF Capital, who are now expanding into Bahrain, offering their services. So tell us, why are you expanding into Bahrain?
I think that this is an extremely important region for the Gulf that we have been visiting over the last couple of months. We have seen our client base from Oman, our client base from the UAE, and a lot of prospective clients from Bahrain and Saudi region. So we are very committed to this region. As I mentioned, we have two offices in Dubai, one for the IT sector in GLT, and one in the DIFC with our license there. And we are really looking forward to see what we can do and achieve in Bahrain.
For sure, it's a very exciting place and exciting region. How do you find this region in comparison to Europe?
I think that there's different cultures, but at the end, the end results are the same. Our clients would like to receive a certain amount of returns. I do see a lot of comparison with some countries in Europe where relationship comes first and results come second. I do feel the same in this region. We really like to put ourselves in a consultancy shoes where we support the client on their goals. If it's cash flow, if it's growth, if it's a mix. And I think our firm is agile enough to be able to do both.
And what does your typical client profile look like in Bahrain and in the GCC?
We range from high net worth individuals towards like family offices, towards institutional investors as well. So it's a mix on an individual that we would like to support on their financial growth journey as of a corporate entity that maybe takes care of others as well.
And the nature of what DHF Capital does, of course, is very results driven. What do the sort of average returns look like that you give for your clients, and how does that compare to the sort of industry standards?
We have quite a range. It's starting somewhere about 10% a year all the way up to 25%. We are mixing this into 3 different funds with 3 different risk categories. So it's really dependent on the person, the individual, or the company what they're looking for. The funds are ranging from a 10% with very low volatility, very low risk, towards fixed income products that are giving a steady return of 12, 16 or 18% a year, but you're locked in a little bit longer. So you want to choose between the flexibility or the little bit longer commitment where we have more time to deliver those results for the client.
What's the best piece of financial advice that you've ever been given?
The best I've received and given, let's say, a lot of financial advice, and I think that the worst advice is to sell people one asset or one asset class to invest in and therefore not diversifying. So best piece of advice would be for me to make sure that you're diversified in your portfolio, that your net assets or net wealth is diversified into things like physical gold, which is a hard asset, towards like flexible trading opportunities that are very liquid and able to exit clearly, towards some boring things sometimes, like buy a AAA bond that is giving you a low return mixed with a high volatile trading on the FX market, for example. So diversity is everything.
And we were touching a little bit earlier before we started on crypto and Bitcoin. Is this something that you and DHF Capital gets involved in at all?
At this moment, not. We are a Luxembourg regulated firm that really sticks to traditional finance and traditional financial products. We do have 16 asset managers who are all trading different asset classes. At this moment, Forex, metals, equities in Europe, equities in America. And we have a physical gold desk in Dubai. Crypto is another asset class that we are not shy of, but from a regulatory perspective and what we currently do and do well for almost 10 years, professionally we stay to that.
Very good. So Bas, can you tell us how do your fee structures work?
They're variable, and mostly there's a one-time joining fee towards setting up the client. We have a heavy IT desk that needs to make sure all the risk management is set up correctly. After that, there can be a management fee, there can be a performance fee, but as I mentioned, we also have fixed income products. So you basically know exactly what you're going to get, and there are no fees in that fixed result. All the results for us are above that proven number for the client.
Is there anything that you, DHF Capital, can do that clients cannot do for themselves?
I think it's very difficult to make such a diversified portfolio for yourself. You would need to invest in multiple funds, you would need to invest yourself into different information sources to be able to trade and understand European stocks, American stocks, forex markets, bonds, everything going on with the interest rates. You would need to follow the news. So we basically say if you want to actively trade in so many asset classes, that's what we are doing, and we would like to do it for our client. A more passive way of investing, a diversified portfolio, is the alternative, and you can do that perfectly yourself.
As someone who very much has their finger on the pulse around the world on different markets, are there any particular markets or trends or things you might see unfolding that people should be looking into in the coming years?
At this moment we are seeing, just very recently of course, when we are filming this, gold jumped up $150 in 2 days. It's been a volatile product, which is normally a non-volatile and safety net, which probably comes at the same time of cryptocurrency rising very, very rapidly. At the end, we just stick to our diversification strategy. We have 2 software packages that make sure that we are programming in-house to give us this very, very stable result. Our alpha fund is 4.5 year monthly positive to give a very stable result to our clients. And all we need to do is manage the risk and rebalance between those asset classes. So when one makes a lot of money, we scrape off those too much profits and we move it into the asset class that this month, let's say, or this week or this day underperformed, so that we rebalance and keep going with a low volatile strategy.
What would you say, what differentiates you and DHF Capital compared to other companies offering similar services?
I think that most of the hedge funds are focusing on one asset class, and they can be really good in that asset class. We have an international team for years built it up into different trading desks over those 4 different asset classes. So I think our strongest point is the diversification and the IT team, because at the end we are a manual traded firm, but we are very algorithmic in our rebalancing and risk management. So we are not the algorithmic trading firm, and we are also not the fully manual firm that maybe acts too late on things like risk or rebalancing between their different asset classes. So I think it's a special mix. It's a mix that clients mostly also did not hear of when we meet them the first time, but after a short explanation they understand the value of this.
And something just to sort of wrap up on, it was quite interesting hearing your story personally, getting into this and setting up this company and how it's expanding and what you were doing prior. So can you just briefly tell us what your story is?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, I've sold my telecom company in 2015 because I saw how international wholesale telecom had so much to do with different currencies. We were trading in 35 different countries and 7 different currencies. And basically, when I had the ability to move into a different market, finance, I started trading professionally in 2014. And basically turned into a friends and family fund in 2019 with a beautiful 5-year track record. We were sold out very quickly with 50 investors that you can allow in such a fund. And then we just wanted to professionalize. We wanted to open our securitization vehicle and our hedge funds later to be able to make this a more publicly tradable and more publicly available fund for everyone.
Onwards and upwards.
Absolutely.
Bas, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.